Hey, Pardon My Take listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music. On today's Pardon My Take, we have Drew Rosenhaus. Huge interview with the Shark, Drew Rosenhaus. We get to the bottom of what it's like to be an NFL agent. And then we also have... Super agent. And then we also have Jason Wright, president of the Washington football team. Great interview with him as well. Probably, Jake Marsh pointed out, probably the two smartest guys we've ever had on the same show. We had Marlins man and foul ball guy. I was going to say Lenny Dykstra and Mr. Portnoy. That also true. But so maybe the second biggest. We had Akon and Joe Montana. True. Last week. Also just Akon. True. Martin Shkreli. Mm-hmm. That's true. Awesome two interviews, though. Highly recommend it. We have NBA playoffs. The Caps have been eliminated. We have Fyre Fest of the week. Wait, what? Well, the Caps have been eliminated. I guess the Blackhawks have been eliminated, too. Yeah. Although I said that at the end of last show. So, Sorry Sorrows? Sure. Okay. I didn't say sure. I'll address that. Sure. All right. Awesome. Billy will get wet. Tomorrow, Billy. We'll see you here. I also like, Big Cat, how you just highly recommended listening to Part of My Take on Part of My Take. The two interviews. Sometimes people are like, I don't know who Jason Wright is. Well, I highly recommend it. Drew Rosenhaus. Maybe you're a huge Antonio Brown fan. No, I highly recommend it. Both. There's definitely one super fan Antonio Brown fan listening to this right now, being like, Drew Rosenhaus, skip. It's probably Antonio Brown listening to it. AB, what's up? You're going to want to stick around. I know you want to hear Drew, but stick around and hear Jason Wright because maybe you'll sign with the R-Words one day. He actually followed me today. Oh, AB did? Yeah, because of my Chippewas. Yikes. So fire up chips. Before we do all of that, Part of My Take is brought to you by the Cash App. Not only is it the easiest place to send money to your friends, it's the safest. Billy got $500 just for replying to the Cash App on Twitter the other day. And they are on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, everywhere. The Cash App is the best app in the world. It seamlessly links to your bank account. You can send money to friends, family. You never have to do in-person transactions when you're using the Cash App. And, of course, when you download the Cash App, enter the referral code BARSTOOL. You get $10 for free, $10 to the ASPCA, all by just downloading our favorite app in the world, the Cash App. So download the Cash App from the App Store or Google Play Store today and get involved with the Cash App. Okay, let's go.
It's Pardon My Take, presented by Barstool Sports.
Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by the Cash App. Go download it right now. Use code BARSTOOL. You get $10 for free, $10 to the ASPCA. Today is Friday, August 21st. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith, as there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, and it'll be a home run. So that will make it a 4-0 ball game. Thom Brennaman. An all-time apology. It was definitely shades of the Chris Berman punt his block. From back in 2013, right, with Ray Rice, that whole thing. Hats off to him for being a real pro's pro and continuing to do his job in the middle of his apology.
So why did he have to say it like that?
So if you're living under a rock, Thom, I like to call him Thom. I have hated him for a very long time, but he had a hot mic situation where he used a homophobic slur and probably is going to lose his job. And
before the game,
the craziest thing, it was a doubleheader. So the craziest thing that happened was he's calling the game, not realizing he's trending on Twitter, and his career's probably over. And then around the fifth inning, they said, "Hey Thom, we're going to need you to do a quick apology here." Got into his heartfelt apology, and then Castellanos hit a home run in the middle of the apology, and he did not break his tone whatsoever. Just called, you know what? Play the clip. Play the clip.
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people.
And that is Thom Brennaman. I actually was watching it live because I hate him. He is one of those guys, the announcers, it's usually only in baseball, that really despise your team. So whenever the Cubs are kicking the shit out of the Reds, I will watch the Reds broadcast just to listen to Thom bitch and moan.
To listen in on his misery.
To just salt in his tone.
Anytime like a big heartbreaking play happens, like the end of that Oklahoma State game a couple years ago,
yeah.
I like more than anything listening to when they put the opposing team's call on Twitter, like they do the highlight reel, and you have to listen to just like kind of stunned silence for a while.
It's the ultimate petty sports fan thing to do. It's like I also do it with press conferences, like when the Badgers beat the Gophers this year at the end of the season. I fucking logged on to Facebook to watch PJ Fleck give a press conference and name the Gophers co-Big Ten West champions. But Thom, so yeah, all-time moment, unintentionally hilarious to call a home run while you're trying to give your deepest apology to the nation.
Well, it wasn't really an apology to the nation. It was more an apology to his bosses and being like, I hope that this is just see you later. It's not goodbye forever.
He said if
I nail this call and I continue my professionalism throughout my apology, they'll bring me back. Now, talking about the actual clip at the start when he dropped the hard F, he wound up. That was one of the hardest Fs. That's a guy that uses the hard F multiple times a day. It was like a Johnny Cueto like wind up before the F. It came from his soul.
Oh, the bottom of his ball sack.
Yeah, it was a just hardcore F that he hit. I think that in the aftermath, you hear a lot of people talking about how he uttered a slur. This wasn't an utterance. I always think that that's funny when people say like he uttered a slur. You apparently can only utter a slur.
Right.
No one ever says a slur or lets a slur slip.
Right.
He did not utter this. He screamed it with his chest.
He said it.
I was thinking it was such a hard F. Like maybe he's in the closet. Maybe this is like a projection thing.
That could
maybe
be it.
He was doing research for an upcoming trip. He wanted to find his next vacation spot, so he's asking Siri, what is the capital of the United States? I mean, his name's Thom Brennaman.
Thom.
Fellas,
Thom.
Is it gay to have the word man in your last name?
His name is Thom.
Jake,
Make sure you pronounce that H.
Jake, do they teach you how to do apologies if you ever utter a slur on the air?
Hot mic, though.
In broadcasting school.
Hot mic at all times.
Always a hot mic, but I think in this situation...
What are you doing, Billy? Why are you laughing? What? At what?
I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing at the idea.
Okay.
I mean, hot mic or not, that's not something that should be said.
Yes,
correct. You are taught always...
No, it wasn't the hot mic's fault.
Right.
No, it just happened that a hot mic was happening.
He should not have said that hot mic.
We're not going to mic shame on this one. You have to, Stephen A. Smith, you have to ask what the provocation of the mic.
What was the mic wearing? Did it have a windshield on it? Did it have protection? Did it have a pop filter?
I got to think the mic shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
in front of his mouth.
The game wasn't even happening at the time.
Yeah,
what was the mic doing in the booth?
The mic was hot, but regardless, if he's sitting in his living room, he shouldn't be saying that.
Right. And we don't want to say that he should say it, but the mic shouldn't have been there.
Right. And if the mic's not there, it's not a problem for Thom.
It seemed like the mic was just kind of looking for clout, amplifying the slur. Like, maybe the mic can be the white knight.
The mic's part of cancel culture.
It's the white mic.
Clearly, yes. All right, so that was Red's Thom Brennaman.
To conclude, they don't teach you how to apologize in journalism.
No, let's hope I never have to.
But if they did, would they tell you to maybe not call the home run?
I don't know. Well,
I feel like if anyone's going to employ him again, it's like, well, this guy is a pro's pro.
He might put that on his tape, like, yo, check it out.
I'm cool under pressure.
On my way out.
I did have to apologize once on a broadcast.
Oh, for what?
It was actually Syracuse versus Central Michigan my senior year.
Okay.
And I'm a big Florida Gator fan.
Oh, no.
I was watching on my phone in the booth.
Jake.
What?
They threw a Hail Mary, and they got it against Tennessee a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just screamed. Our game was
cheered in the press box?
Oh, my God.
I was in our booth, so the other press didn't see me. I just screamed, let's go.
Hot mic on Let's Go?
Because we usually do, it's called Around the Nation. We go scores around the nation, and I'm like,
Jake, I need an around the nation check before we get back to more in the studios. What was the score of that Florida Gators Tennessee Volunteers game?
Funny you asked, Evan. So Florida was up by 10 with 5 minutes to go. Tennessee tied it back up. It was 20-20, and the Gators rattle off a 63-yard touchdown for the win at the buzzer. Unbelievable. Gators beat Volunteers. Let's go.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, folks.
That's great that your big fuck up was just rooting for a team. They try to beat that out of you at Medill.
And it was
not Medill.
It was an incredible end to that game too. But did you learn anything from that?
That was Will Greer.
Yeah, against Tennessee. You guys remember that game?
I remember it.
In Florida for that game. It was awesome.
There you go.
So Jake, can we workshop this? Like, if you were Thom Brennaman, how would you have handled that apology? Can you call his apology?
I mean, I don't know. That's an unprecedented thing.
Castellanos hit a home run, though. So he got to call that. Yes.
That's a moonshot from Castellanos.
Yes. You can cut up the clip of the actual home run and be like, not enough energy in this home run call.
Yeah, was something going on there, Thom? All right, so that was
I'll try to find that clip, by the way, from senior year.
An unreal, we would like that clip. An unreal night on Wednesday night when that happened. So we have NBA playoffs. Actually, we should talk. Do you want to talk Caps first? You want to?
Yeah, I'm fine talking about the Caps because I think I gained a little perspective throughout the whole COVID crisis and what the Caps have done by putting on a show for my enjoyment, for America's enjoyment, for Canada's enjoyment, really for the world's enjoyment, I think is better than winning a Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. I think that being in the bubble, staying safe, practicing good hygiene, not spreading the virus around. 0 positive COVID tests for the Capitals are their opponents this postseason, which I think is a testimony to just what a great team this is.
Same number of goals today.
Same number of goals. Well, yeah,
0.
Hank, they have families they want to get back to,
Good
okay?
one.
And I think that what they showed today was...
So they gave up.
Tom Wilson doesn't have a fan.
No, what the Caps did was they let them score 4 goals on them so that Tom Wilson wouldn't injure any more of their players.
Yeah,
trying to keep everybody safe.
All around.
Trying to limit the amount of ice minutes that the Islanders have to go through. Plus, I'm just very, very happy for Barry Trotz. Like, this is a great win for Barry Trotz.
There you go.
Really, Barry, he's a Cap for life.
Should have kept him.
Cap for life. Our Stanley Cup winning coach. I'm glad that we were able to share him with a less fortunate franchise like the New York Islanders. So
who have
all in all,
like 4x the amount of Stanley Cups as the Capitals.
We can talk
Maybe
about banners
more.
that hang from the ceiling all day long. I think the most important banner this year is everyone's safe, everyone goes home to their families.
It's
if
the
Barry
easiest
Trotz wins, do you get some part of that banner?
Oh, absolutely. I think that Barry Trotz, he's using the information that he learned whilst coaching the Capitals and how to win. Plus, I mean, does it really count this year? Like,
no, I said it. It's the easiest year to lose. You have your team lose.
There's no parade I could go to. There's no Stanley Cup celebration. I'm not going to drink out of the cup again this year. So honestly, I'm glad. I hope
because they lost.
I hope that a new team wins. And for all the people that are hard at work making Ovechkin golfing photoshops, it's been a dry spell for them recently. They haven't gotten to make that joke recently.
Back.
So yeah.
Well, they made it last year too.
Yeah, they made it last year, but that was like that was a rinky
year.
That was an aberration.
All right, so we had that. The Blackhawks were eliminated as well. It's Hank, you're left. Hockey, whatever.
Yeah. What's left of your team is I think that you've got some really smart players who've accurately realized that being around your family in a time like this is more important than putting on a game.
The Blackhawks getting eliminated first is actually also great because when you get eliminated first, people just don't even remember.
That's true.
It's like, what? Oh, yeah, they got eliminated.
And you were playing with house money this year anyways.
House money, youngest team, whatever.
You didn't need that draft pick.
We had the NBA lottery tonight. The Chicago Bulls are going to get Obi Toppin. Very excited. Who won the lottery? Oh, the Wolves.
Why are you so sure of that?
I actually don't think we are going to get Obi Toppin. I think we're going to get the kid from Israel. But I just know from a blogger podcasting perspective, when you can say ain't no stopping Obi Toppin, it pays for itself.
Yeah, I mean,
those shirts pay for themselves. Being able to say that after a big play pays for itself. Like, he could suck, but just being able to say that for a couple of years, that's worth it. So ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. Put it in the draft.
What about like a Mike Myers t-shirt, like an Austin Powers one? It says "Oh Behave."
There we go. We could go anywhere with Obi Toppin. We also had an all-time moment during the lottery. So the Bulls went to 4, and I went live on Periscope, and we're sitting in the gambling cave, and a Barstool intern was sitting there as well. Shout out McDougs. And he just casually, I was like, hey, I think we're going to get Obi Toppin. And he's like, oh, I had a class with him at Dayton. We were dance partners in a class. Like, really? And he's like, yeah, we were dance partners. And I said, oh, so do you have his phone number? He's like, no, but my ex-girlfriend does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, McDukes, way to just do that to yourself.
Ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
Ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
Getting some sloppy Obi Toppin.
Go, baby.
I think that if you're picturing, like, what does McDukes look like? He's exactly what you picture him.
His name's Kevin McDougal.
If a Barstool intern was grown in a petri dish.
Yes.
That's McDukes.
Call me Dukes.
So other bonus lottery news.
Yeah.
We are on a crash course for the Ball family to move to Oakland. We're looking at
they're going to trade it.
Potentially LeVar Ball dealing with the Golden State Warriors dynasty, which I mean, if you're a fan of chaos, you should be rooting for that scenario.
The Warriors are going to figure out a way to trade the number 2 pick and like Andrew Wiggins for, I don't know, Anthony Davis. Like something ridiculous where I'll be like, what the fuck? How'd this happen?
Giannis.
Yeah, that would be actually great if Wiggins then went back to LeBron. Like after he basically was like, no, I don't want this. Wait, was that how it went? Yeah. No.
You'll have to specify.
Yes,
so many times
when
that
he
LeBron
went back
did
to
that.
Cleveland and he made them trade Wiggins for Kevin Love. Yes. All right, before we get to NBA playoffs, let's talk a little football. Football is coming back, and that means Sundays are back. Why only watch one Sunday out-of-market game when you watch all of them? Catch it all with NFLSundayTicket.tv. And good news, NFL fans, DirecTV has expanded the service. If you live in an apartment or big city where DirecTV service is not available, you can now get NFL Sunday Ticket without a satellite. To see if you're eligible, go online to NFLSundayTicket.tv and stream every NFL Sunday Ticket game this season to follow your favorite team no matter where you live. You can also stream from all your favorite devices. Use promo code PMT20 at checkout to save 15% off. There are exclusive student discounts available as well. Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, Samsung Smart TV, laptops, smartphones, tablets. All can be done with NFL Sunday Ticket. NFLSundayTicket.tv. Go right now. NFLSundayTicket.tv. Football is coming back, baby. PMT20 for 15% off. Do it. NFLSundayTicket.tv. NBA playoffs. The Lakers are back.
Yep.
Laker Dan is back. They just curb stomped the fucking Blazers. I can't believe that everyone decided the Blazers were going to win this series after one game.
Blazers in 5. I decided the Blazers were going to win the series after 0 games, so I was a little bit ahead of the curve on that one. But it was a classic LeBron James Game 1 to Game 2 switch up where for some reason, I have 0 stats to back this up, by the way. I feel like LeBron James likes to have people doubt him in the playoffs. So he's liable to go out there and lay an egg just to get more fuel on, just to give Skip Bayless like a little bit of water in his dish. But be like, here you go, come up with some takes for me so that I can come out Game 2 and smash everybody. It was a no-brainer. It was a no-doubter that the Lakers were going to come out tonight and win by at least 10.
It wasn't even LeBron, though. LeBron only had 10 points. It was Anthony Davis being like, oh, yeah, I'm 7 feet and way better than everyone on the court, and then just dunking on people and grabbing rebounds over everyone. So it's nice to see AD doing that, although he did it with the Pelicans. But so that, I think what we're going to actually have with these NBA bubble playoffs, because it's been very confusing watching these teams like the Lakers lose Game 1, the Bucks lose Game 1. I just think we're going to have some fucking great series because you saw the Mavs beat the Clippers. And all this adds up to, I've had a thought bubble in my head that I just think the Rockets are going to win the title just so that we can all discount Daryl Morey and James Harden and be like, that's not real.
It would be the perfect asterisk team,
It really would.
The Houston Asterisks, absolutely. Like I think that there's a pretty good chance that it's a good shooting gym. Like we talked about earlier, there's no like fans behind to distract. It's a close backdrop. So yeah, I could see no strip clubs inside the bubble.
Yep,
that's a bonus for Harden.
No fans.
They test them for weird fake illnesses all the time. Harden again skates by on that one. So yeah, I mean I think that the Rockets have as good a chance as anybody out of the West. And then out of the East, I still like Hank's Celtics.
The Heat look good, man.
My Heat look good. The Bucks look good. The Bucks look pretty good, but I'm not in. I think that, you know what? I think the Bucks are frauds.
How stupid our brains are.
I think they're counterfeits.
We like discount the Bucks just because Hank said the Bucks stink, and then they lost Game 1, and we're like, whew. It adds up.
I think the Bucks might still stink. Just because what?
I don't know about that.
Dante had a good game
Aaron
tonight.
Gordon wasn't playing.
You're a first name basis.
Yeah, Dante.
Go, you say his last name.
DiVincenzo.
There we go.
The deli sub. He's the Italian sub.
Let it go. But yeah, they've been great. The the fact that we get wall-to-wall basketball every day is, like, this is going to be a harsh come-down when we get to the next round and they start doing just night games. You're like, wait, where's my basketball game at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, it's a big fuck you to the West Coast and a big, giant, wet, sloppy kiss to the East Coast media elites like us.
It's fucking awesome to watch these games.
I like it a lot. One note that I had was, did you see what Russell Westbrook was wearing?
Yes.
So Russell Westbrook is copying my band shirts idea just a year later. Again, I'm ahead on that, like I was ahead on the Levi's tag and on the NASA tags. But I was wondering, how many bags of clothes do you think that Russ had to bring with him to the bubble?
A lot. He probably gets them shipped. Did you hear the anecdote that C.J. McCollum had 85 bottles of wine in his hotel room?
Yeah,
85 bottles of wine.
Well, because he's selling them.
Yeah, but
him and Jay Butt are turning this into like a lucrative little side hustle.
But they were just talking about moving hotels. They're like, yeah, they had to move all these bottles of wine. We also had a great moment on the broadcast tonight where Jeff Van Gundy, as kindly as he could, just essentially called Mark Jackson a fucking idiot.
What happened?
Mark Jackson, there was one clip of Carmelo guarding LeBron full court, and Mark Jackson was like, see, people say Melo can't play defense. Look at this defense. And Jeff Van Gundy was like, I got to say, I agree with the people. Melo can't play defense. And Mark Jackson just was like, what?
You know what, though? Melo did have that one block at the end of the game, much like he hits his 1 threes at the end of the game. Melo knows when people are tuning in. I'm pretty sure that he has like a little Nielsen guidebook on the sidelines, and he knows when the eyeballs are on him, when he can make his one play. Mark Jackson also said about, I think it was Westbrook tonight, because Westbrook wasn't playing. He was talking to the officials. He was like arguing for a foul call. And then Mark Jackson was like, see, this is what a teammate does, is he communicates with the referees even when he's not playing. And Jeff Van Gundy, again, was just like, okay, Mark. Yeah, like it's pretty normal for a player who's sitting on the bench to be talking to an official.
I'd say them spending all day and night together. Jeff Van Gundy's had many moments where he's like, wow, you say some dumb shit.
Jeff Van Gundy's probably the one that's trying to get him a job with the Bulls or the Pelicans.
He's going to leak a lot of stuff, Mark Jackson, to the Pels. Oh, God, if the Bulls hire him, I'm going to... No, they won't. What
if the Bulls get Melo?
What?
What if the Bulls get LaMelo?
Oh, LaMelo.
I mean, I feel like that'd be great for Big Cat to have LeVar Ball in his universe.
But ain't no stopping Obi Toppin, dude. Just say it. Ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. Like, when he goes off, I loved watching him at Dayton. Dayton was a wagon this year. Every time he had a good game, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. And he had a lot of good games. All right, I think that's it for everything that's going on right now. Anything we missed? We'll do Billy's List and Fyre Fest after the interviews. But we got 2 awesome interviews coming up. So let's do it. Let's get to Drew Rosenhaus, and then we will have Jason Wright right after him. PFT, you got a quick ad.
That interview with the Dolphin, Drew Rosenhaus, is brought to you by NHTSA, NHTSA. That is the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration, and they want to remind you guys about the risks of driving drunk. You could get in a crash. People get hurt or killed, but let's take a moment to look at some surprising statistics. Almost 29 people in the United States die every single day in alcohol-impaired vehicle crashes. That's 1 every 50 minutes. They also put a note on here that I didn't realize. Did you know that's illegal to be riding on the back of a motorcycle while you're drunk?
Yes.
Well, it is. I did not know that. It's called drunk riding. It's serious because you could hurt yourself. You could hurt others. Again, 1 person in every 50 minutes passes away in an alcohol-impaired vehicle crash. Drunk driving can also have a big impact on your wallet. You could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses. You could possibly even lose your job. So what do you do to prevent drunk driving? You have to plan in advance. You plan a safe ride home before you start drinking. Designate a sober driver or call a taxi, get a ride share. There's so many ways. There's really no excuse in this day and age to be caught driving drunk or to get behind the wheel of a car if you're drinking. If someone you know has been drinking, take their keys, arrange for them to get a sober ride home. We all know the consequences of driving drunk, but one thing's for sure, you're wrong if you think that it's no big deal. So drive sober or get pulled over.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is Super Agent Drew Rosenhaus. Drew, thank you for joining us. Actually, I want to start there. Are you okay with us calling you a super agent? Is that okay?
that's I've heard that term before. It's pretty funny, but I prefer. You guys can call me whatever you want. It's no big deal.
All right, I feel like you're a super agent.
I saw that your nickname was the Shark, but I also think that you gave yourself the nickname the Shark. Can you confirm that?
I don't know how that nickname came about. I did have a book that was entitled "A Shark Never Sleeps" or "Shark Never Sleeps." So maybe that's how I got the nickname, but it's not like I refer to myself as a shark or a super agent either. I'm a pretty humble guy, believe it or not.
You actually, I was going to save this for later, but I do have a bone to pick with you because you once claimed that you wrestled a 6-foot shark, and I actually can't pull up the old tweets, or the old pictures, but I had a problem with it at the time. I called bullshit on it at the time. Do you remember this?
No, it's true. I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can see the video. It's if you just type in Drew Rosenhaus wrestles a shark, I don't know if you call it wrestling. I grabbed the shark. I grabbed his tail. He tried to bite me. I was in the Keys. We were fishing. I did something silly. I jumped in the water. I grew up in Miami Beach, so I've been around sharks and fishing my whole life, and it was kind of silly, but no, there's no bullshit on that one, guys.
I saw the video.
I wrote it at the time. I blogged at the time. I think it was probably like 2014. I said the title actually should have read Drew Rosenhaus touched the tail of a dying shark that was probably hooked on a fishing line for the past 3 hours until it had no strength left, but keeps tweeting out that he wrestled a 6-foot shark.
Well, I can tell you it wasn't dying. In the video, you can see it swim away.
Okay.
It was on the line for maybe 5 minutes. And I can also tell you that it definitely was a powerful, vibrant shark.
Okay,
but there's no exaggeration needed on that one. The video itself maybe doesn't do it justice. There's more recent video. I went fishing with with one of my clients, Juwan Taylor, and he caught a Goliath grouper, probably around 400 pounds. And I got in the water with that bad boy and grabbed him, and he wound up smacking me with his fin. That's something you can find as well. That ESPN had that on SportsCenter. So if you doubt my prowess of wrestling sharks and fish, I have that for my resume as well.
I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to actually retroactively call myself a hater. Okay, that probably was a blog that came from spite, hate, wherever it may have been. I don't know if I had a bad day, hadn't had my coffee, but I will retroactively rule that I was a hater in that case.
No problem, guys. I've got thick skin, and I'm very forgiving.
I would hope so. If you're putting your limbs near a shark's mouth, then that's probably a good thing to have.
Yeah. Well,
I want
to
start off the top talking about something that's in the news today. There was some reports that the NFL was talking about maybe doing a playoff bubble or multiple playoff bubbles. And I didn't know if you had been a part of those conversations or what you had heard, but what would your reaction to that be?
My reaction is I think it's a great idea because the bubbles work so well in both the NBA and the NHL and Major League Soccer. It's kind of a proven component here to beat COVID. So I'm all for that. You know, you've got a limited window and a limited number of teams, so I think it's doable. And there's so much at stake. I love it. I think it would be effective. Let's see where we're at in a couple months, but I'm all for that, guys. I got to say, I think the NFL has done an outstanding job up to this point in dealing with this. I mean, you're talking about less than 1% of the guys, have tested positive since training camp. They've done like 100,000 tests, and it's just been a huge success. I think there might be 12 guys on the COVID list right now. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Out of 2,000 some odd players that are presently on NFL rosters, I'm excited with the way this is going. And when I talk to teams and my clients, everyone's confident that a season's going to take place.
Now, the season is I think, going to take place as well, but there probably won't be a lot of fans. Is that something that you're projecting out, that the salary cap might be adjusted and you're telling your guys, like, hey, get ready for this because it might be a little different in a year or two. We might be feeling some repercussions from a year without fans.
Yeah, definitely concerned about that and how that's going to affect the salary cap. I think the NFL is going to pull a rabbit out of its hat and hopefully get a TV deal done here, possibly before we have a new salary cap next offseason, and that would offset any losses from the fans. So it might be premature to be gloom and doom about, the future of the salary cap, because the NFL is in negotiations with the networks as we speak, and this would be great timing for both sides to get something done. I mean, I think the NFL ratings are going to be through the roof and unprecedented based on all the fans that should be watching NFL football coming up here in less than a month.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to jump back to kind of the beginning of your career a little bit, if we could.
Sure.
Right now, I'm sure that you kind of sell yourself, right? If there's somebody that's coming out of college that's going to be a projected top 10 pick, you're probably on that short list. You show up and you're like, hey, it's me, the Shark, the super agent. You know you want to sign with me already. What was it like at the start of your career when you were first starting to get players in Miami? How did you convince them that you could make them more money in the pros than they were already making at the U?
Wasn't easy. I was 22 years old when I broke in the business in 1988. And I was a young guy with limited experience. And, I just told the truth, man. When in doubt, tell the truth. I share with the recruits that I wanted to be an agent very badly because I wanted to help my clients, and I felt like I could do a great job. And I really was confident that I had the talent to do it based on my legal background. And I was a law student at Duke, and I had interned with an agency, and I just felt like I had what it took to get the job done. And I was just, spoke from the heart. And I didn't have a lot of success early on, but fortunately I hung in there, and at the end of the day was able to build my resume and build my career.
Who was the client that I've made it client, the client that you were able to get that you're like, this guy is going to be great and he's going to set me up for future clients, and it's going to be almost a snowball effect from here?
Well, very early in my career, I represented Marvin Jones, who was the 4th overall pick of the draft in the mid-90s. And I also had Warren Sapp as a client in the mid-90s, who went on to be one of the great players in the NFL. But probably all the way back in 1991, I signed a first-round pick, believe it or not. Back in 1991, his name was Randall Hill, and he came out of the University of Miami and was drafted by the Dolphins in the first round. And as a guy that was based in Miami, that was a double win for me because I started to build my client base with the Hurricanes and the Dolphins, and that was pretty huge being a South Florida guy. Wound up really, dominating in terms of signing over the years a lot of the great Hurricane players and then going on and signing a lot of the Dolphin veterans as well. So I'd have to give Randall Hill a lot of credit as kind of a breakthrough guy for me in 1991.
So after you kind of build out your stable clients a little bit, how quickly did you figure out that you are a guy that was going to enjoy being on television? A guy that would not shy away from the spotlight if you had to be there? Because I know a lot of agents stay more behind the scenes than you. You're not afraid to do interviews, and you're not afraid to, do these press conferences and things like that. Did you make a conscious decision that you were going to be, more public facing?
I do think that early in my career, I realized that in order to compete, I would have to be different. And I'd have to take more chances. I'd have to be more aggressive. So I kind of stepped outside the box. And while most agents at the time were kind of behind the scenes guys and, shied away from publicity, I sort of used it to my advantage. And I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated early in my career and used that to sort of as a platform to get clients, and was affiliated with things like Jerry Maguire and did a Burger King commercial, an ESPN commercial. And these were years ago, so no question. The media has been good to me in that I've become, fairly well known publicly, and that's been good for business, I guess.
Has there ever been a downside to that though? Has there ever been a guy that you were going after who's like, look, I would love to use you as an agent, but you're out in the public eye, and maybe they have a stereotype of you as an agent that's too flashy. Has that ever worked against you?
I think earlier in my career, that may have been a factor with a few players, but probably not over the past decade, because I've really, I don't think I've done as much media over the past decade, and certainly a lot less controversial. Mm-hmm. Some of the media stuff earlier in my career was fairly controversial. The Next Question press conference and some of the, interviews that I had to do with tough topics like Plexico Burress and going to jail and things of that nature were tough. But I was on Monday Night Football talking about that at halftime. But I think over the past decade, guys, a lot of that I've turned more towards commenting about league issues or, negotiations. It hasn't been as controversial, so I haven't heard any players really use that as a reason not to hire us.
Yeah. And you've seen obviously a lot change over the course of your career in terms of the types of contracts that players are getting, whether it's, more guaranteed money here or there, some giveaway, takeaway on some of the injury side of things. Where do you see NFL contracts like 10, 15 years from now? If you were to look at them, like how much more progress do you think the players will have made in terms of like maybe getting some, fully guaranteed contracts?
Well, I started when I was 22 years old, and now I'm 53. I'll be 54 in October. So 32 years in the business, and I've seen the contracts grow incredibly. And there's no reason why that won't continue to happen. I think right now we're even in the middle of a pandemic. You see blockbuster deals for guys around the league. Over the last couple of weeks, there's been some huge extensions. And, even in the midst of the pandemic, we did an extension for a guy like Darius Slay that made him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. For a guy like Javon Hargrave, who went from the Steelers to the Eagles, became the highest paid nose tackle in the NFL. I'm amazed every year with the growth. Kittle just became the highest paid tight end. He's not our client, but that will grow the market. And we have two great young tight ends in Jonnu Smith and David Njoku, who will benefit from that. Not to mention oldie but goodies mm-hmm. who will benefit from that. In guys like Rob Gronkowski and possibly even Greg Olsen if they decide to play after the season.
Yeah. So I'm always curious because as fans, you always hear rumors about negotiations and when they start and if a team's getting close. Walk us through this from behind the scenes. You don't have to do a specific player, but at what point do you start talking about a contract extension? Like a guy gets drafted, he plays his first 2 years, 3 years. What point do you at least reach out to the team? Like the guy's playing well, the team likes him. When does the conversation start about a contract extension?
Well, if your client is not drafted and becomes a great player, you're able to work on a new contract after their second year. So you can actually, if you've got an outstanding player who was an undrafted free agent, some of our best clients are undrafted free agents like Shaq Barrett, who led the league in sacks. But let's just use a J.C. Jackson, for example, who was undrafted coming out of college and has become one of the top corners in the league for the Patriots. I've touched base with the Patriots about J.C., and he's only played 2 years. So, for guys that are drafted, you can start talking really and do a deal after their third year. It really depends on your client and their prominence. We've done 103 contract extensions, and every one of them has different timing involved. But often I get started as soon as a player is eligible after their third year for a draft choice or after their second year if a player was undrafted.
So for J.C. Jackson, for that one, are you talking to Bill Belichick directly or are you talking to someone else in the Patriots organization?
Well, without getting too specific about JC, one thing that I enjoy about the Patriots is I have worked with Coach Belichick on negotiations. I've also worked with Nick Caserio and talked about contract negotiations. He's basically their general manager. But I've been able to work with Bill Belichick for 30 years now, and in many instances, he's the one that I'm working on the contract with. Other times, it's Nick Caserio. But they're both guys that I have a lot of respect for, and they're very good at their job. And I've been able to negotiate quite a few deals with both of those gentlemen for my clients on the Patriots over the years.
And in a scenario where you have a player out of college who, you know, you're very confident that you know that this person is going to be drafted highly, how do you decide which player that you're going to go hang out in their living room or go, you know, to the actual draft and sit next to? How do you make that call?
Well, last year, for example, on the first night of the draft, I was with Derek Brown, who we were pretty confident he was going to be the 10th overall pick. You know, or the top 10, I should say. And he was the 7th overall pick by the Panthers. I'm talking to teams, so I have a feeling, guys, of where our players are going to be drafted. On day 2, I was with Josh Uche, who was the 2nd-round pick of the Patriots. And I was pretty confident that that Josh would be drafted in the 2nd round based on my discussions with the teams and the interest that they had in those players. So where I am on draft day really depends on what the teams are telling me. I've got partners, my brother Jason, Robert Bailey, Ryan Matha. They'll go and stay with players as well. So we're with all of our clients during the draft.
Yeah, but if you show up, the player knows like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
He knows. Now, have you ever been in a situation where, let's say, a player might start to fall, and you know that you're on television, you know that those cameras are hitting you, whether you're in that player's living room or whatever it is. Have you been in a situation like that, and you're like, you know what? I got to start taking fake phone calls. So it looks like there's a lot of interest in your client. You just like pick up the phone and talk to nobody.
It's funny you mention that. If you guys do your research, Google Willis McGahee and Drew Rosenhaus. And what happened with Willis McGahee is exactly what you just said.
Wow.
He wasn't drafted.
Yeah, his knee.
Yet, right? And ESPN was at my house, and they kept showing me and Willis, and we were waiting for a call. So I call Willis McGahee. And I'm on the phone with Willis, and Willis is on the phone, and all these teams start calling me and saying, wait a minute, Drew, who's Willis talking to? Is he about to get drafted? We're thinking about taking him in the 2nd round because everyone knows players don't get on the phone during the draft. Well, I wasn't specific. I didn't say he was on the phone with me, but the inference was that he was probably on the phone talking about getting drafted, and he wound up getting drafted in the 1st round to the surprise of a lot of teams. And I think a lot of people felt that that particular technique of me calling Willis, being on the phone with him while he was on ESPN, later turned out to be a pretty good strategy. And the Bills drafted him with the 23rd pick in the 1st round.
I'd imagine that, that's a great story, and I'd imagine that type of scenario happens often, maybe not exactly on the draft day, but in your dealings with the league, because there's nothing like NFL teams' secrecy and scared of what the other teams are doing. I'd assume you're able to be like, hey, listen, I'm talking to a lot of people, and then everyone kind of drives up the price because they're all crazy. Every NFL franchise is kind of crazy in that way. It's a special league like that.
It's a very competitive league, and I try and use that to our advantage. I have to operate with integrity, guys, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I represent a lot of players in the NFL, and I have to work with all 32 teams, and they're not one-off deals.
Right.
It's not like I can burn a bridge. I'm going to be dealing with the team again, so I cannot just fabricate stuff or make stuff up, or I'll have no credibility. But there are times that you obviously, you can be aggressive in terms of stretching, and I've done that from time to time.
Has there ever been, and you don't have to name names, but has there ever been a time where, not to your fault, but just the fact that the player maybe didn't perform to the level that they got paid, it maybe momentarily burned a bridge where a team was like, we're not going to deal with you for a year or two or something like that. Has that ever happened?
No, I don't think the teams blame the agent if a player doesn't play well. It's not my fault if I'm a hard negotiator, right, and I agree to a good deal with the team and then the player doesn't play well, they're not going to fault me for that.
Right.
So I haven't had that issue. I really haven't burned a bridge with clubs. That's why I've been able to do this for as long as I have, guys, and represent about 100 active clients in the NFL at this time. I go out of my way to be aggressive for my clients and fight for my clients and get everything I can for them, but also maintain a relationship with the teams that involves honesty and integrity and fair communication. I think it's important. You can't just go out there and be a warrior and burn every bridge. You'll be out of the business in no time because your clients, they need an agent that can communicate with the teams. Negotiation is just one phase for a player. Often it's communicating about an injury or about the draft or about a trade or how a player is performing, what he needs to work on. My job isn't just to negotiate contracts. I'm involved in a litany of things that involve me having to have a respectful relationship with clubs so I can operate on my client's behalf. Mm-hmm. If I'm just this, insane, let me just at all costs negotiate contracts, that's not in my client's best interest either. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a holdout in a long time, probably a decade. So I've been able to, get things done and effectively negotiate, 1,000 NFL contracts over the past 10, 15 years without having any real acrimony with any given NFL team.
Yeah, that's not very shark-like of you, though, Mark. That's more like, or Drew. That's more like a dolphin.
Yeah,
that's like the dolphin.
Yeah.
How do you like that nickname?
Call me. You know what? I would say at times I'm a shark. At times I'm a porpoise. You have to be. You got to be flexible. Yeah. At times I'm a fish and a mammal, and I'm sure there's a lot of other descriptions that I've gotten from teams. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But what I will tell you is I take my job very seriously, guys, and it's a big responsibility to represent players. It's not a joke for me. And as we kid around with, acronyms for me of shark, a porpoise, I've got guys whose lives depend on me to be a professional, to recommend things that are in their best interest. The NFL is a short lifespan. Guys are dependent on you to give them right advice, to be a professional. And I take it very seriously. And for whatever, my public persona is, the one thing that I can tell you guys is the most important thing to me is I always do what's in my client's best interest. And I work very hard to be professional at this. I study, I'm prepared, and I try to be a consummate pro every step of the way because my clients deserve that. So do their families.
How have you dealt with, you've been doing it for so long now, like you said, started in 1989. Social media has changed everything. Do you do social media courses with your clients? How do you approach that when a guy gets drafted or when you officially sign someone as, being a client at Rosenhaus? How do you talk to them about social media and how they deal with all that?
I'm frequently discussing social media with my clients, and the easiest way to explain social media to my clients is whenever you post something, just assume it's a press conference. Mm-hmm. It's just like you getting up on a podium in front of the whole media and making a statement because everyone follows you on social media. People follow everything that you do. And that is what I say to my clients. Be aware that whatever you do on social media, it is equivalent to doing an interview and millions of people could potentially see it. Mm-hmm. So from my standpoint, that's the type of conversation I have. Remember, when a lot of our clients get to us, they've been through college. So they've talked about this with their college coaches. Many of the guys get this conversation from the NFL teams as well. So there is an awful lot of education that takes place before it even gets to me and my interaction with an athlete.
What about when you get a deal done for one of your clients, and let's just say it's a big deal like a Rob Gronkowski level type thing? When you sign that contract, do you have Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter on the same text thread with each other? Because they tweet this news out within 30 seconds of each other, and I'm pretty sure that the agents just copy both of them at the same time.
Well, guys, I'm not in a position to reveal my sources or talk about my relationships with any reporters. But in general, as an agent, I do think it's helpful to get along with the media. There are guys nationally that I have a lot of respect for, including one of your good friends and Mike Florio.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I have a good relationship with Mike and Pro Football Talk. And really, I'm responsive to any reporter that reaches out to me. I try to treat them all with great respect. I try to get back to everyone, even if it's I can't comment or I can't help you with this. But certainly I can't divulge the secrets of my practice.
I will say I did reach out to Mike before this interview. I was like, hey, you got any juicy stuff I can press him on? And Mike responded, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, you guys, it sounds like maybe he's your first guy that you text.
Well, I'll tell you this, you guys have done a heck of a job. I mean, it's remarkable to see the growth of your podcast and your broadcasting careers. And it's fun to see, I love this element of our business that there's so much opportunity surrounding sports and commentating, and there's great content for fans, and you don't have to, just turn to ESPN or NFL.com. And you guys are an inspiration to a lot of people out there that you can go outside the box.
Way to butter us up.
I take my hat off.
Way to
my hat off to you, bud.
Way to butter us up. So in releasing the contract news, you got to stay ahead of the curve because I think people are starting to catch up to this. I talk about it all the time. When that initial news comes out, it's always like fake money. They're like, oh, this guy signed for 5 years, $200 million. Then they look at it and they're like, well, they could cut him after a year and a half, and it's only like $20 million guaranteed. So how are we going to stay ahead of the curve? Because I think people are catching up to that first tweet is always like, wait a second, let's get the real numbers here.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of inflating anything because all that's going to happen is the media is going to come back a day later and say, wait, this deal isn't what it was cracked up to be. So I'd rather just give, the facts. I think if you spin it, it's going to come back to bite you on the rear end. So I'm not a huge fan of playing that game where you make it seem like it's better than it is, because that only goes so far. And I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to breaking down deals and talking about them when I do, because I don't think it's beneficial for my clients to put out an inflated or exaggerated contract and then it's just going to get assassinated or dissected the following day. I don't want to put my clients in that position. This is exciting for them to sign a contract. There's no need to, to fabricate or kind of embellish on what these deals look like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of your most famous clients is Frank Gore, and I was just going to let you know that I appreciate Frank Gore. He's been around for 15 years now. For you as an agent, that must be like an incredible guy to have on your roster. Where it's like every year you're like, is Frank going to retire? No, he's going to come out and rush for 900 yards again. We're going to take another bite of that apple this offseason. So how many more years do you think that Frank's got left in him?
Well, Frank is going into his 16th season, which is amazing for a running back in particular. And Frank is the third all-time leading running back in NFL history. And one thing that has established Frank as an all-time great, guys, is he loves the game, and he's a very hard worker. And I think Frank loves the game so much that he'll keep playing this game until he's told by all 32 teams that there's no job for him. I really do. Frank loves professional football. He loves to compete. He loves to play. He's a rare competitor. I don't think Frank will retire out of his own recognizance until the opportunities have dried up. And really, at this stage of his career, you got to take it 1 year at a time. I think it's a big year for the Jets, and I hope he does, reunited with Adam Gase. If he has a big year, I wouldn't be surprised if he played again in 2021. Mm-hmm. But it's got to be 1 year at a time right now for him.
I've always been curious this. You have a ton of different clients. How do you decide who you're rooting for? And after, let's say, the Super Bowl, you got clients going up against each other. Do you talk to the loser first, or you try to talk to the winner first? How do you always break that down? Do you have a protocol, or is it by feel?
I think it is by feel, guys. I think it is by feel. Usually I will talk to the winners first because they're in a good mood and they're happy and they're receptive and they're glad to see you. A lot of times guys need to cool down after a loss. If I'm on the field after the game or in a locker room, though, whatever order I see my clients win, lose, or draw, I'm going to talk to them. But if I'm in a position where I have to go to one locker room or another, typically I'll give the guys that have not won the chance to compose themselves and kind of get over the bitterness of defeat. They probably don't want to hear from me right after a game when you lose. When players win, they're ecstatic to see you, and it's more welcome.
So how do you decide who you root for? Are you just rooting for your clients? You're basically like, I just hope all my clients do awesome, and that's it. Or do you even have, like, if Frank Gore's in the Super Bowl and he's up against...
Well, he's on the Jets, so...
Okay, well, yeah, so suspend, all belief. If Frank Gore's in the Super Bowl this year and he's up against, let's say, Gronk, so it's Jets versus Bucks, are you somewhat, like, deep down being like, I really want Frank Gore to win this because Gronk has a few Super Bowls to his name and Frank doesn't have any?
Guys, that's a brilliant question.
Thank you.
And although I'm an agent, I am a human being, and I care about my clients. I have to really tell you that I've grown to be very neutral over the 32 years that I've been in the business. You learn to kind of put your emotions in a box with the games, and you're satisfied with your players coming out of a game healthy and hopefully playing to the best of their abilities. I don't root for teams in the Super Bowl. If Gronk and Frank went against each other, may the best man win.
This is basically the next question answer. You're just doing a next question answer.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just, I really
just give
can't
us the next question.
Well,
give us the satisfaction of saying next question.
Next question.
There we go.
I think I know what you want to say, and from your mindset, you look at the NFL like it's your giant fantasy team. You've got all these different players, and you just root for their stats.
Yes.
And so if it's Frank Gore against Gronk in the Super Bowl, you're hoping that both guys get 3 touchdowns.
That was the most diplomatic diatribe you were about to go on.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at the diplomacy at this stage of my career, but it's hard. I mean, you're emotionally attached to all your clients, and believe me, I've seen guys get injured game after game. So after 32 years of gut-wrenching pain as an agent watching these games, because I've seen Gronk blow out his knee. I've seen Gronk have a concussion. I've seen Gronk break his forearm. I mean, I just want to see these guys come out healthy and play well, honestly.
Yeah.
Whether they win or lose, I'm kind of calcified at this point on that.
Yeah.
What about fantasy football, though? Do you play fantasy?
Definitely not, because I think it'd be, a little bit of a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? I could just play a team with my clients, but that wouldn't be fair. So I don't play fantasy football. One of the tough parts, guys, is when I grew up here in Miami, I was a huge Dolphin fan, huge Hurricane fan, like you would not believe. And I can tell you very frankly that I miss being a fan. I miss being a Dolphin fan, a Hurricane fan, because now I just root for my clients, and I'm not able to be a fan anymore. I can't play fantasy football. I can't just sit back and watch a game and cheer when the team scores a touchdown. Now I'm analyzing every play, wondering if my clients are playing, why this guy didn't play, why he missed the tackle, Yeah, being an agent is a lot of fun, but I will tell you, when you become an agent, football is now a business and not fun like it used to be. So that's the only downside. I see so many people say to me, I love football. I'd like to be an agent. Sometimes I just want to tell them it's a great profession. I love what I do, but you lose the innocence of being a fan, which is a lot of fun.
So you've had it happen a couple times that I know of, but maybe more times than, throughout your career, but you've had to cut ties with clients. So basically the reverse of a client firing an agent, Antonio Brown, Johnny Manziel. How do you get to that conclusion? Is it like, you tried and nothing changed, or what exactly happens when a Johnny Manziel or Antonio Brown situation, you have to cut ties with clients?
Rather than shedding light on those two cases in particular, out of respect for them, and I want to rehash tough times for either one of them.
Fair.
I think the answer is this. In general, my philosophy, man, is to stick with my clients as long as I can, as long as I'm effective, as long as my advice is being appreciated, as long as the client respects me and I'm effective at what I'm doing. At the point in time where the client no longer cares for my advice or my recommendations, or we're in conflict in terms of what a player should be doing, there's just no point in continuing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I ever get to the point, past, present, or future, where I have a client that repeatedly disregards my counsel, we don't share the same philosophy on how they're approaching their life and their career, what's the point in having me as the representative? And if they're not going to cut the cord, then I will, because there's other agents out there that they might have a better connection with at that time. Mm-hmm. So, representing players is a very important job. And if I can't contribute and be important in a player's life, then I shouldn't be that player's representative anymore.
That makes sense. And one of the great magic tricks that you pulled, and I think it's been done a little bit recently, not just with Antonio Brown, but also this offseason we saw it with Jamal Adams, where a player is not happy for whatever reason on the team that they're on, and they want to be traded. They're not a free agent. But in my head, last summer, I reached the point where I thought that Antonio Brown was a free agent. It seemed like it was a free agency period for him. And how do you exercise the little leverage that you have with a player that's under contract to try to steer them to a team that they kind of put on their pre-approved checklist?
It's a slippery slope in that, the teams really don't want a player to be on their club that doesn't want to be there. That's not productive. If you've got a guy that doesn't believe in that organization, doesn't believe in that coaching staff, doesn't want to be in that locker room, that is counterproductive. So if you get to that point with a player and that player doesn't want to be there to that extent, you really should trade that player. And that's not as much of a magic trick as it is unfortunate, because the downside is that when a player is that unhappy with the team and motivates the team to trade, that's not the best for a player's reputation moving forward either.
Yeah.
And it's not the most conducive thing to the relationship with that new team or any other team. So I'm not, I don't think that that's anything brilliant or a magic trick. It's unfortunate for everybody involved when you get to that point, because it does have a negative effect on everybody in some capacity.
Yeah.
Remember, these guys have relationships with players, and when they get traded, those relationships, that in many respects they suffer. With coaches, with players, and that's not fun. We had a client, and Darius Slay, that got traded, and he didn't leave on the best of terms, but that was hard on him because Darius really cared about a lot of people in that Lions organization, but it was time for a change. And And that was a win-win for everybody at that point in time.
Yeah, Magic Trick's probably not a great choice of words. It's more that's on me inside my own head, where my dumb brain was like, "Oh, he's a free agent now." Like at times, I thought that he was because there were so many teams that were interested. But if it's a player that is that says publicly or privately to the organization, here are like the 4 teams that I would like to go to. Do you have any leverage at all to make that happen, or is it just you counting on the GM to like do your player a solid and try to put him in a place where he's happy?
I think when you've got a client who's under contract, you don't have a ton of leverage as an agent because it's really up to the team to decide how they want to trade the player, for what terms, to what team. The leverage that I have is just to be professional in communicating with that team and share with them what we believe is in our client's best interest and in the team's best interest, to try and find a scenario where everybody wins. The trade is beneficial for the player and beneficial for the team that acquires the player and beneficial for the team that trades the player. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. And I guess the term leverage really applies to using my experience. I've been an agent longer than any other general manager by a wide margin at this time. So I try to share with these general managers my experience over my 3 decades in the NFL and try and encourage them to do what I think objectively will be in everyone's best interest.
Yeah.
And hopefully that carries some weight.
Drew, this has been awesome. I have one last question. By the way, you are now a recurring guest, so whenever one of your clients is in the news, you have to come on our show to tell us about it, just so you know. Just
no problem.
So you know. All right,
no problem.
My last question is the MeUndies soft question of the day. Go to MeUndies.com/PMT. Get 15% off your first purchase. How the hell did you get the Instagram handle @agent?
Oh, I don't deserve any credit for that. One of the guys who works for me, his name is Kyle Lincoln. He talked to the people at Instagram. We got a lot of clients that we get verified and get handles, and they were nice enough to give me the handle. I wish I could.
That's boss. @agent is the greatest handle to have if you were an agent. Like, that makes you the best agent right there. You should just say that. You should actually just have that on your business card. It should just be like, @agent. That's it. That's the only thing on the business card.
I wish that was the case and it was that easy, but it is a cool handle, and I don't intend to change it anytime soon. But it has been a lot of fun with that handle.
What about when you retire? When you walk off into that sunset, are you going to find another agent and sell it to them? One last score.
I'm sure I'll keep that handle. Why not? Even when I'm retired, I'm sure people will still think of me as the agent. Hopefully I've left that legacy over all these years. I've been doing it 32 years. My goal is to get it up to 50 at least. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what's next.
Well, you better hope that nobody grabs super agent, because then that would actually make you look worse if you're just agent.
Or shark wrestling agent.
Well said.
Shark wrestling agent. Drew, though, this has been awesome. We really appreciate it. And like we said,
Sure.
You now legally are obligated to come on anytime we ask.
Be my pleasure, guys. You take care.
All right,
Drew. Good work.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye, guys.
Okay, that Drew Rosenhaus interview was brought to you by our friends at Bud Light Seltzer. Bud Light Seltzer is announcing a new position on their team and wants our help to find people. Bud Light Seltzer is looking for its first ever chief meme officer because while they have delicious seltzer, their memes need some work. Job responsibilities include making hilarious memes, including verbal memes, and figuring out what rhymes with Bud Light Seltzer. Go to BudLightSeltzerNeedsMemes.com to apply. Billy and Jake, we've seen your talents. Blink once if you want us to apply on your behalf. Billy didn't blink.
Winked.
Billy did
which
not.
is half
that
of
was
a blink.
Creepy, Billy. Jake, I will apply on your behalf. Billy, you don't. You would like. But I would actually love to see Billy negotiate the memes job with Bud Light Seltzer. Like, so how many Bud Light Seltzers do I get?
What do you mean when you say I have to do memes?
Yeah, like, do I have to look for pictures?
Wait.
All right, so go to Bud Light Seltzer Needs Memes right now to apply. BudLightSeltzerNeedsMemes.com to apply. Here is the president of the Washington football team, Jason Wright. Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is Jason Wright. He is the president of the Washington football team. Awesome to have you. You just announced a week ago huge hiring. You're the first black president in NFL history. Also, I would assume going to change some culture in Washington football team. Can we start with the culture change and talk about the team name? Can we decide that right now? Because I know PFT really wants the Red Wolves, so let's do that right now.
PFT, I heard you have a dynamic presentation for us.
I do. Well,
is what I heard.
Well, I can
some about Colin Powell and
yeah,
like that. Something roundabout like that caught my attention, but I didn't quite fully understand.
I may have said that I would give a Colin Powell like UN presentation to you, but then I ditched that. I scrapped that because of everything that happened after that presentation. So this is just going to be me talking to you one-on-one from a fan perspective. It's the Washington football team now, but well, first of all, I'll say if they make the Super Bowl this year, you can't change that, right? Like it's just going to be Washington football team.
I mean that sounds logical to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think if we go to the Super Bowl this year, I think we will probably just all be kicking it a little bit instead of worrying about things like this.
Absolutely. But if you do change the name, I feel strongly that it should be Red Wolves. First of all, you got Fred Smoot, who really created the movement behind Red Wolves. He's a fan favorite. He brings up some good points. The defense could be called the Wolf Pack. I think that dogs in general are criminally underrepresented at the professional level when it comes to sports mascots. We do own the Water Dogs Lacrosse Club. It's a professional lacrosse team. But besides that, there are like no dogs at the major league level. I think that you could do something like release wolves on the sideline before every game. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about like before the teams take the field.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds highly litigious, but I hear you though.
Okay, here's the way.
Don't worry.
Here's
about
the way
that.
I would do it because we want to tie in conservation as well, right? We want to be doing good things on and off the field. So if you just maybe 8:00 on Sundays before any home game, you put maybe 3 Red Wolves down on the field, let them walk up and down, just pace the opponent's sideline, let them, pee and poop down there, mark their territory, get the Wolves back, take them back to their conservation, and then it's game time. Guess what? Now the Detroit Lions are walking around, ankle deep in wolf scat. I think that's a good home field advantage right there.
I like the way your brain operates, my friend.
Okay,
it's like exactly the type. It's exactly the type of disruptive thinking we need to get to a good answer. I can make no commitments to you right now, brother, but consider your application effectively submitted.
Okay. There we go. We're
wolf
good.
Hats,
yeah.
wolf gifts.
No, don't keep going. He's got.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Good guidance from your boy. Good guidance from your boy.
He said we're submitted.
Okay, submitted.
So don't give away the free stuff now.
I've got a million more ideas.
We're submitting. Save them, because then they're going to bring you on as chief marketing officer.
One more idea.
No, don't.
The urinals are fire hydrants in the restrooms.
That's perfect.
Gosh.
Jason, you are also the youngest NFL president in history. Is that also true?
Not in history,
but right now.
Just currently. Yes.
All right. So how does that work when you're meeting with people and you're their boss and you're a lot younger than them and trying to, we talked to Sean McVay. We've had him on a few times. He talks about how dealing with guys in the locker room and he's their age. How do you get over that?
I don't think it's something that needs to be an obstacle, and it's also not something I'm unaccustomed to, frankly. I've been counseling CEOs for the better part of the last decade. There's not a whole lot of 30-something CEOs running around. I think you build trust in a few ways. You build trust by being credible, so you know what the hell you're talking about. You build trust by being reliable. You're consistent. You follow up. You do what you say, and you build trust by being personable and making personal connections. And I think if I can do those 3 things, it can bridge any age divide. It can bridge any demographic divide. It can, you can connect with folks, and I'll plan to bring those to bear. And I'm not too concerned about it.
Now, on the flip side of that, do you think that maybe there's some underestimation that goes on that maybe might play into your hand a little bit? Have you experienced that in the past?
Certainly, that can absolutely, I guess, help you or hurt you. But I tend to be pretty agendaless. I'm not super Machiavellian dude. I don't have some grand twisted scheme to grab power. What you see is what you get with me. And the thing that excites me about this job and work in general is solving hairy, complex problems. really complex, challenging problems and galvanizing a group of people to go and achieve it. And so for me, I'm actually just really about solving what needs to be solved and seeing the impact of it. That's what actually excites me more so than, scheming and gaming. So you're right, man. It could play into my favor, but I'm just going to let it be what it is.
By the way, that was a very thoughtful answer, but the correct answer is you just need to grow a mustache and put on reading glasses, and everyone would be like, wow, this guy's really thinking about things. That's the way to do it.
That's like the little rascals sitting on each other's shoulders with like the overcoat.
Yeah, it's really, rock the mustache, and people are like, wow, this guy's pretty serious about stuff.
Maybe a bow tie.
Yeah.
That usually helps too.
I mean, I got some grays from my last few years, working in a high-intensity job. So, I just let those come out,
Yes.
You do have a pretty big challenge ahead of you. Like the Washington football team is a team that has, not had the best track record for the last 20, 25 years or so. Bill Parcells famously said, I think when he was hired by the Dolphins, first thing you do if you want to change the culture, you change the carpets. So he just changed everything about the layout of the place. Have you thought about something small like that could lead to a greater overall shift?
Actually,
down the road?
That's actually really insightful. No, I hadn't, but I actually like that. I think the principle there is psychologically we get used to our environment, and when you're in that environment, what you see, what you smell, whatever it is, gets your mind in a place where you do things the same old way. So I actually really like that. I hadn't thought about that, something like that to sort of tangibly or physically change the game. I've been more focused on some of the things that are related to what people experience, person to person. We have an independent investigation going on into sexual harassment, and I'm familiar with those challenges. I've helped other companies move through those. And, depending on where we're at, and I don't know if it's better or worse, than I think it is outside in, because I have basically the same information as y'all until I start on Monday. I know the path to get us to a culture where people are empowered and there's good leaders and the right voices are in on the right decisions and there's transparency and all that. That's what I've been thinking about more so, but I actually really like this idea of surrounding that with some more, overt changes that start to shift what you think it should look and feel like when you come to work. I actually really like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. So you played college ball at Northwestern, running back at Northwestern, played in the NFL as well. Why, in your estimation, is Evanston the greatest home field advantage at 11 a.m. on a Saturday afternoon? Because it is. It is.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Let's see. Where do I start?
No one's in the stands.
the intense focus that you are able to achieve. No, it's the beauty of being able to walk on the lake and center yourself before you get out there to play an important game. It's the reminder that maybe the students aren't there as early, but it's because they're about to be world leaders and CEOs, and they had a little bit of studying to do.
Oh,
our journalists.
Okay.
So or running journalism. We are absolutely the journalism cartel, right? So, it's okay if you didn't show up to the first kickoff. You weren't there tailgating 3 hours ahead. If you're gonna run the show.
Yeah. Okay, well,
life, I'm good with that. Good trade-offs.
Yeah, I have a long-standing belief that it is truly the greatest home advantage in all football. I went to University of Wisconsin. I'm also a gambler. I love to gamble, and I always bet Northwestern 11 a.m. because there's teams that have high school football. Kids who played at Texas high school football in bigger crowds than the 11 a.m. Northwestern.
You
can catch teams on, sleepwalking. I mean, Northwestern, that's always, when Wisconsin's schedule comes out, Ohio State's going to be tough, but if they're playing 11 a.m. in Evanston, that's when Northwestern catches teams.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to get you up off of us real quick. In my time at Northwestern, and you'll probably be able to verify this,
Yes, you did beat Wisconsin.
I either no, let's take it one step further.
Mm-hmm.
I either never lost to Wisconsin or most certainly have a winning record against Wisconsin. And I credit my performances against Wisconsin of helping me get to the NFL. So I thank you.
There you go. And it was a game at Evanston, probably at 11 a.m. So it proves my point. Boom, we're done.
I'll say this: one of the most fun moments in college football is jump around in the fourth quarter at Badger Stadium.
Yes. All right. So I had one more Northwestern question because I do love college football. 2 2003 Motor City Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the biggest award out there. I love that. I love that bowl game because it's always in like the 9th team in the Big Ten versus like the 3rd team in the MAC. What was it like winning that? Was that one of the greatest achievements?
Yeah, this should actually tell you how well I played in that game. I was the MVP, but we lost.
There you go. That's really huge. Yeah.
We lost, but I balled.
Yes.
It was a fun. I mean, college football is such a special thing, and we're all in our split mind of both, understanding, prioritizing student athlete health and safety, along with grieving and missing the experience this year. I mean, it's just a blast. What I remember most about the Motor City Bowl and my career in football in general are like the folks that I hung out with, the staff that I spent time with, sitting with my dad in a Detroit casino gambling.
Yep.
Like that, those are the types of things that I remember from that trip, much less the game that, I don't know, my family watched. I don't know.
Yeah. Second longest Motor City Bowl history touchdown. So that's actually almost better than having the record in the Motor City Bowl. To be fair. This bowl.
I'll take all of it. Take all of it. It was a lifetime ago, and let's be clear that if I tried to do any of it, I would pull a hamstring.
So when you got this job, I think it was CBS Sports. They interviewed some of your old Northwestern teammates, and one of them said, I think this was off the record, not by name, that he thought that by now you'd be president. So do you feel like a disappointment because you're not running for president?
Underachieved.
Yeah.
No, I do not, because that's not as I might say in a more casual moment, I'm not about that life.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I want no part of that life. I actually have a bunch of really close friends, Northwestern grads actually, that are pretty high ranking in politics, and they've got a composure and patience and thoughtfulness that I could never achieve. So they can have at it.
Are you worried at all, being a notable Northwestern grad, and there's many of them, I'll give you guys credit for that Darren Ravel in his basement has like your Social Security card or like a piece of pizza you ate as like a senior?
I do know that Darren has some paraphernalia of mine as a college athlete in his basement.
Yes, your underwear.
Unless he sold it since then, but he did have something years ago.
Who gives a better pregame warm-up speech, Darren Ravel or Mike Greenberg?
Oh, wow. Gosh.
It's tough to decide.
Can I put them together and make it, this greeny, highly analytic, and then energetic Darren.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slightly erratic delivery, because I kind of want them both. Together.
I feel if you combine them like a Voltron, that would deliver the best ad read of all time. You get not only the ad read from Greeny, but also the analytics of how it breaks down and how many different trinkets you can buy using that contract from Darren.
Yes.
I had a question for you about the team name and how things are like being implemented moving forward. Do you have like an R words jar that you're going to put in the office so when anybody says the R word by mistake, you put like $20 in there, and then that goes to like paying, I don't know, tampering charges?
That's actually probably a pretty good reinforcing mechanism. But no, the name piece, and I've said this before, so I'm going to parrot back what I said before. Forgive me, but it's more than a name, right? It's actually reestablishing an identity, and it's actually a really hard thing to do. And I think if there's anything that I've learned over the past few days engaging with fans substantively for the first time, this is not an easy task. And that's because it's so important and because it means so doggone much to people. Because the identity will inform the way that everything that comes out of the building is structured. It's going to inform the way we engage with fans. It's going to inform the way that when we do have people back in the stadium next year, that the fan experience is crafted. And then most certainly when we're building a new stadium, it's going to really influence the design and the feel of that new place. It's going to inform what we do charitably in the community. And I think actually, if we get it right, it's also going to inform the way that we treat each other within the organization and in our culture. And it has to, hit a few things all in concert. And I don't know how it's going to come together, but I trust that the process will get us there. It's got to bring some sense of the historic nature of this club since 1932 forward into it. It can't really just be a break as though nothing ever happened, right?
Yep.
It needs to have all of that historicity in it. It needs to have the Hogs. It needs to have, the memory of, a groundbreaking winning quarterback. Like all of that stuff needs to be part of the go forward identity. But it also needs to have the values and the culture that, Dan and Tanya Snyder are pivoting us towards, that Coach Rivera is driving, that they brought me in to drive. It's also got to capture the energy of the fans today, the diverse set of fans that we have today. It's also got to represent the DMV in a way that's unique. I mean, there's so many things that have to be threaded together in this. It's really challenging. But I think the secret is going to be real engagement of the fan base that's frequent, that's meaningful. It's going to require us to engage the players, our staff. It's going to mean talking to leaders around the DMV area as well. We're going to need a lot of input to get this done, and it probably won't land where everybody wants, right? There's only one thing you can string together for a name, right? But hopefully everybody at the end of it, because of how we approach it, will be able to see their fingerprints on the process. They'll understand the depth of meaning that comes out in the new identity. And eventually, because, not everyone's going to be on board at the beginning. Eventually, everybody understands and embraces this new identity, and it brings us back together. And that's a bit of what we need as a fan base.
So how big of a priority is it for you to get the team to move back to Washington, D.C., maybe on the site that RFK Stadium was on? Is that something that you discussed in your interview process, or is that something that you personally know is going to be a priority?
No, that has not been part of the discussions coming up, and I like the way you tried to incept me there. I am completely inoculated against inception, my friend. Okay. It is. I've heard this for the last few days. It's actually really important to a large portion of the fan base to feel like it is a DC-based team. But I don't know where the location discussions are, and I need to catch up on that when I'm in office. But the things that I'm excited about and why the stadium actually is something that I got very fired up about. And in talking with Dan and Tanya, did a lot of brainstorming and throwing out wild ideas about, is not just that a stadium is a location where you bring families, it's where the team plays, it becomes a sense of pride and identity for, the fan base, but also it's an economic driver for the region. And if you look back on sort of my track record before this, I talk a ton at McKinsey about economic development, what it does for communities, how it's able to uplift various types of people and various types of businesses. And the idea of being able to help craft how that capital that goes into the stadium flows to businesses and communities. And then what the wealth that's generated from the stadium flows into businesses and communities, for me, is a bit of the challenge of a lifetime to do it in a way that's aligned with my values and espouses equity in a really beautiful way. So that's what I'm excited about. And I know irrespective of location, that's the lens I'm going to bring to it. But I'm hearing people loud and clear now, my friend. There are strong opinions in many directions, but not much stronger than people's desire to see the identity rooted to the district in some way.
So you mentioned that you're starting on Monday. Have you given your press conference yet? Have you done a press conference yet?
No, I haven't. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a press conference type of guy.
You
guys can advise me. You guys can advise me on what will resonate with with folks.
You need to start with a joke, so you got to have that ready. I would assume you're going to do a press conference at some point, so we need it.
I'm sure it will. But here, I'll tell you what I care about when it comes to media engagement, because I'm agnostic to the format. You want to put me in front of a podium? Put me in front of a podium. Let me be here with you all, which is quite casual and comfortable. That's good too. I'm good with whatever. But I think what's important are a few things. People to understand clearly how the culture that we're creating, comes across in the day to day. And in order to do that, I need to be a bit authentic. I need to pull back the curtain a bit on what's going on in the building. You know everything that's going on in the building, but you need to know something about it for it to be authentic and credible and really signal a new direction. I want to be I want to listen a lot. I want to be in forums where I'm not just talking at people, but I'm also taking in input. I got an application here today. I got a few other ideas today. I got an attempted inception here today. Mm-hmm. I want to take those inputs. You know what I mean? I want to take those inputs and I want to listen. And so whatever format it's in, I want that to be part of it as well. And then, I want them all to be, focused on moving us forward in some way, not just to look at myself, because I can do that in a mirror. And it's not just to hear my own voice, because, I can do that singing in the shower. It's actually about something that moves us towards our goals in some way, communicates something meaningful to the fan base. So I just want to be a little bit action oriented about it. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Right off the bat, it's helpful in your introductory press conference if you know what the colors of the team are. So, for example, if somebody asks you what color the Redskins are, Washington football team, $20 in the R-word jar. Sorry, you should not say maroon and black, like Jim Zorn did in his first press conference. So it's burgundy.
Is that really what happened?
Yep, burgundy and gold. I'm just going to hammer that home. Burgundy, gold.
Yes, understood.
And
understood.
Another help. Do you mind if I give you a piece of advice? I don't know if I'm
qualified.
No,
bruh, please fire away. I'm taking notes.
Okay, so this is a very important thing. You need to figure out, and this is going to be very tough for you because obviously you've got an athletic background. You need to find a sport that Dan can beat you in. Because I don't know if he'll be able to just take you onto the racquetball court like he did with Vinny Serrato and beat him, 21-0, feel good about himself, then go back home. You need to find a sport he can consistently beat you at, that you always go out. That's a good way for you to maintain that job.
That's actually really good advice, and something something folks might know about me. There's literally only one sport that I'm good at, and that is American football. I am actually quite bad at everything else. Maybe track. I could probably beat him in a foot race, but that's everything else I might get wiped the floor with. So, that's a safe bet. That's good to know.
It's kind of a cool thing to be like, I'm only good at one sport and I also played pro. All right. I had one last question.
Very, very good.
Yes, very, very good. Elite. I had one last question. So, Jason Wright, you went to Northwestern. You were a football star there. You went to the NFL. You played in the NFL. You went and you were a star you went to University of Chicago grad school. You then were a star at McKenzie. You're now the youngest current active NFL president. Has anyone just been like, dude, you're kind of a nerd and a big-time overachiever?
I'm very much a nerd, and I absolutely embrace that.
Because you make us all look bad. Yeah, you kind of make
really
us all
hide
look
it.
bad.
I mean, actually,
I
have Star Wars socks on right now.
You're making us look bad, though. That's really what it is.
I am sorry. I feel like you all are doing quite well on your own. So you should just, maybe it's a more of a self-reflection thing to realize how much you have actually achieved.
No.
That said, I am my own worst critic. So overachiever is not a label I would apply to myself. I think there's a lot of room for growth. And this job is going to stretch and grow me, and that's what I'm excited about.
I just see a resume like this. I did the same thing. There was a kid Scott Harris, who used to work for the Cubs, who was I think he became the Theo's right-hand man when he was 26. And I wrote a blog being like, what the fuck? Fuck this guy. He's such an overachiever. I just read a resume like yours, and I'm like, how did he have enough time?
Yeah.
It's impressive, man. It's impressive.
You know what it is? So people say this about sports often. Yes, there's work and preparation and all of that, but most things, it's about timing and opportunity. And frankly, that's what it's been for me. I chose to, when I first break, in the NFL, it happened because a bunch of people got injured. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that allowed me to get on the field, show what I could do, and establish myself. I was working hard all the time. I was, being my best self all the time. But it took, a serendipitous moment for me to jump in. It was the same thing when I chose to retire and go to business school. The timing worked out in a way where I got into a career and got experience that led to this. I had enough experience at this moment for this to happen. And this whole thing came together, out of the blue. Our networks, my network and the Snyder's network, just crossed at the right time. So yeah, there's you prepared, you went to school, you got decent grades and all of that. And I don't want to downplay that. However, a lot of it has to do with just things coming together at the right time. And for that, I'm just grateful.
Well, you even through this interview, you've given 3 or 4 answers where I'm like, damn, how can a person be so thoughtful? I just don't have the words that you have, and in your vocabulary.
You got a lot of words.
You have a lot of words.
How many words? How many words you know?
You got so many words, dude.
I have the best words, man.
All the best words.
And go ahead.
I was just no. You finish up.
Well, I was going to say, and the greatest accomplishment, the second longest touchdown in Motor City Bowl history.
Yeah, that's clear. That's clearly at the top of this. I don't know why that's not on my resume, actually.
Well, I'm rooting for you. I want the
Thanks, man.
I want the Washington football team to succeed. I'm sure you've heard this so many times, but that district, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the DMV it's a football community that has longed for a successful football team for the last 20 years. We've had glimpses here and there, but. If the team can come together, like you are in a prime position, actually, you're kind of buying low in a way. You're buying low. There's a real opportunity here, and you could be a god. You could be a god to people in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland if this succeeds. And I'm pulling for it, man.
Well, I'll quote Captain America, my nerd side. There's only one God, man, and doesn't wear the suit. So I'll pass on that. But I will align myself with your aspiration and your goal, and that is, Coach Rivera has already started a movement that I think is going to get great performance on the field, and I will both get us out of his way on the business side and do some things that really make the fans excited about it again. That's what I owe you guys.
Well, that's interesting. I appreciate that. But where is the exact line between what your job is and with what Coach Rivera does? Because Coach Rivera, he's taking on more than just a traditional head coaching role. He's very intimately involved with the operations of the team. So, where's that line where you stop and he starts?
Yeah, it's super clear to me. And that's a good thing, I think. Role clarity really helps performance. Coach Rivera oversees the football side, 100%. That's everything from the players that are selected in the draft to the players that are on the field, the scouts that are on the squad, the trainers that are in the training room. Everything that goes into what happens between the lines is Coach Rivera all day. And if you think about it in a really simplified way, his metric is wins and losses, right? Me, on the other hand, I run all the business operations that surround it, the marketing, the sales, the stadium operations, everything that happens just off the grass, anything that happens off the fan experience, anything that happens off the grass, that's in my area. And if you think about if his is wins and losses, mine is it's franchise value and dollars and cents, and that's the way to think about our disparate roles.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Jason, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, man. Best of luck, and good job being you and being an overachiever. And it's okay that you put all of our resumes to shame. The world needs people who are just kicking ass like you, I feel comfortable saying that you got a position of power. It's like, that's good.
Received.
Yes.
Received. Washington. Thank you, sir.
Oh, wait, I forgot. One last question.
You tried again. Mm-hmm. This is attempted inception again. Yeah, I heard the whisper, bro.
What whisper?
You're not going to get me.
Your middle name is Go Million?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
That's not a bad name either. Washington Go Millions.
Damn it. Dude, you're way cooler than everyone.
Well, I mean, I'm not the one, at work in jeans with my sneaks and feet up. That's pretty.
That's true. I do. I am having a good time. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have it like that. I don't have it like that.
I feel like that was an inception to be stop slacking, dude. Yeah. Sit up straight.
No, I think that he's incepting you to make you. It's a classic trick. He's making us feel good so that we'll be like, yeah, you are. We'll keep complimenting you. Yes. I know you can't incept me into future compliments. You're doing a great job.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
Maybe get some. All right, I'll finish with the diss then. Maybe get some collar stays, dude. The collar's looking a little wrinkly.
The collars are perfectly normal.
There we go. Let's go.
Yeah, get some collar stays. Come on.
And get some wireless earbuds.
Right.
Yeah, wireless earbuds. Right. Yeah, you're the president of a team. How do you have wires still? What the hell are you doing?
Maybe wear a tie.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
We're trying to look professional.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Serve me that realness. Yeah, serve me that realness. I like it.
All right, man. Jason, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
That interview with Jason Wright was brought to you by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is a one-stop shop for any employer who is looking to hire more talent for their company. A little background, a little case study here. Dylan Miskovitz is a real ZipRecruiter customer who used ZipRecruiter to hire for his company, Cafe Altura. So this is a testimonial script based on his employer's story, okay? If you're an employer, you have a lot on your plate, especially right now, but ZipRecruiter can make your hiring process quick and painless. Dylan Miskovitz, he was Cafe Altura's chief operating officer. He needed to hire a director of coffee for his organic coffee company, but he was having trouble finding qualified applicants. So he switched to ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. Shout out Dylan, award-winning listener Dylan. He went to ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you because it finds them for you. Its technology identifies people with the right experience. It invites them to apply to your job so you can get qualified candidates fast. Dylan posted his job on ZipRecruiter and said he was impressed by how quickly he had great candidates apply. He also used ZipRecruiter's candidate rating feature to filter his applicants so he could focus on the most relevant ones. And that, my friends, is how Dylan found his new director of coffee in just a few days. With results like that, it's no wonder that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the very first day. Talk about saving time. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the very first day. So you can see why ZipRecruiter is effective for businesses of all sizes. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Okay, let's get to some of Billy's sheet, then we'll do Fyre Fest and wrap up the show. What are you going to say, Hank?
George Karl, This League,
Yes.
Coaches Edition. But did you see what Mark Jackson actually said?
Yeah, he didn't actually go at George Karl, really.
He didn't say anything. He was just like, coaches should be held responsible for not having played defense during his career, which is a lot of coaches.
Which
and
is
a lot
also
of
very weird because Melo actually did kind of play defense in Denver.
And George Karl just said, I heard Mark Jackson's taking shots at my defensive coaching during tonight's broadcast. Remind me, how many All-Star teams did you coach, Mark? How many DPOYs? How many finals appearances? How many of my teams became dynasties right after I left?
Oh, well, I mean,
so
Mark
he took like a sub shot and just went in.
But Mark can hit him with the dynasty that took over when he left. Like, that is the ultimate Mark Jackson stat. He happened to be...
No, that's what he used that as a diss.
Yeah, which is a diss.
He goes, how many of my teams became dynasties?
Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
Like, I was the missing piece.
I thought he stumbled into the only thing that Mark Jackson could reply with. But that's a major case of, like, if you throw a rock at a pack of dogs, the one that you hit is the one that's going to bark at you.
Whoa.
You know that one?
How many?
It's
throwing rocks
It's
at
an
dogs?
old saying. A hit dog will holler. So, like,
you're hitting dogs?
They could. I'm not personally, but somebody
Sounds like
who
you
made
are.
up the statement has said that. But it's a classic case of, like, he's talking about everybody. George Karl took it personally because he knows that there's a kernel of truth to
PFT
it.
just goes down to the East River after we record and just grabs a bunch of rocks looking for dogs.
Sorry you don't know common sayings, Big Cat.
No, I know that, but I don't like to do sayings that talk about hitting dogs. Rude. Apologize.
I will not.
And then do a home run call.
I will not apologize.
Do a home run call in the middle of your apology.
Listen, I said some things about dogs that I wish I could take back, and Dwight Howard with the inbounds pass. And I think that when you look at it, I wasn't actually saying that about the dogs. And there's a deep 3, and the Lakers are now up by infinity points with 4:24 left in the fourth quarter. But again, it's not about me and the dogs. It's about George Karl interpreting that as a slam on him.
All right, so quickly before we get to Fyre Fest, Billy Sheet, were you saving the trees now, Billy?
Yeah, I double-sided it.
Damn.
Wow. Where'd you learn how to do that?
Settings.
Yeah.
Oh, the IG model who sucked off the Suns is getting money?
Yeah.
Oh, on
She's
OnlyFans,
got-
made $46,000 in a day?
In a day.
Hell yes. Get your cash.
Wait, it says that, yeah, holy fuck. Good for her.
Good for her.
You got to listen. There's opportunity knocks just but once or twice in life, and you got to open the door.
She also
maybe to 5 or 6 of opportunity's friends. Too.
Her another benefit that she got was her family disowned her, and so she got fired. But her job was in her dad's accounting office. That's awesome that you got fired from that. That sounds miserable. And then you made $46,000 in a day on OnlyFans.
Good for you. I told Hank this, but after we talked about the Phoenix Suns thing on the show on Tuesday night,
I
went home and I dreamed about the show. That's how fucked up my brain is.
Ooh.
I dreamed about the show, and Billy was like, it said that Devin Booker went first, and then Hank said, that's weird because he's usually a last shot kind of guy. And good,
even in the fourth dimension.
Credit to
Good
Hank,
joke, Hank.
for invading
Good
my
joke.
brain with one of his good jokes.
Good joke. That was a nice, subtle, brag that you're dreaming in jokes.
No, I dream about the show sometimes, and I wish that I didn't.
Yeah. I probably do.
You have
as
so many
well.
jokes in your head. You have to put them in
dream
different
them.
people's body.
It's a nice brag.
It's
a sick brag.
Yeah, and then Joe Rogan was sitting next to Hank, and he was like, "That's fucking hilarious, dude."
All right,
you ever go hunting for elk?
We had Bryson DeChambeau do something very like triple B of him. He asked spectators to be quiet because it really bothered him.
Mm-hmm. Because
there's like no one there.
Because sound travels, Big Cat. You didn't finish the sentence.
Oh my!
He said, "Can you keep it quiet?" And then he turned back and added, helpfully, I might add, because sound travels.
This guy.
So
do you want me to beat the should I fight
yes,
him?
yeah.
I challenge Bryson DeChambeau to a fight.
Rough and rowdy. Done.
Because he's a fucking pussy.
He might fuck you up, dude.
Honestly,
he might fuck you up.
He's like big, but
but you don't have
15 minutes worth of footage of you working out silently.
Right. You also don't have man strength yet.
I have a lot more.
No, you don't have man strength yet. Like you're
videos.
strong, but you don't have man strength.
I think I could beat the shit out of him.
You should make a video.
All right, let's
also let's not use the P word pejoratively, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to apologize.
Thank you.
For the nomenclature I made. And
that was actually a test,
Dallas
Billy. You are a baby.
There you go, Billy. There you go.
You are a soy boy for apologizing.
There you go, Billy.
You failed that test.
All right, let's do our Fyre Fest and we'll get out of here. Hank, Fyre Fest.
PFT can actually attest to this one. I was longboarding. Previous Fyre Fest, it broke. I got a new one. I was dipping home and I hit like a pothole. Pretty much full yard sale went flying. Scraped up my arms and legs.
That's just living the rad life, though.
Yeah, it
like
was,
that's you take risks.
It was you got the wasted sound effect from Tony Hawk.
Full on. There was like a really old lady that like it was like out of a movie. She came, she's like, "Oh, there's a hospital right there." I was like, "I'm good. I'm just gonna get on my skateboard and keep going."
Hockey top
hospital right there.
She was literally like, "You need to go to the hospital." I was like, "No." I mean, I was like,
"Come on,
chicks
dig scars."
Yeah.
I bike over that exact same pothole every night when I go home, and it's to the point where like I have to stop my bike and drive around this huge thing in the intersection. So shout out to Blasio. That's probably where he buries all the fucking groundhogs he murders.
Fuck you, De Blasio.
Oh, by the way, I totally forgot that Kevin White is back. I should have mentioned that.
He is.
Shout out Kevin White.
You got to work out with the Jets, right?
The Jets will probably win a Super Bowl with him.
Des Bryant got to work out with the Ravens.
Yeah, Des Bryant. Des Bryant. I love when old players. Now, Des Bryant was never the fastest guy, but they showed he one of his trainers put out a clip of him running against air, and he looked slow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, were we supposed to be impressed by that?
He's converting to a tight end. He'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. PFT, what's your Fyre Fest?
My Fyre Fest of the week is that 750 genetically altered mosquitoes are being released into Florida. So that
shouldn't be a problem.
That sounds great. It violates my one rule of if an idea sounds like something that a movie villain would say as like his grand plot, then don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay away from it. And when you say 750 million, really you should never release 750 million of anything unless it's sperm in a Phoenix hotel room.
Dollars
into the economy,
bank account,
into my economy.
Yep.
Then that's fine. But if it's mosquitoes, first of all, fuck mosquitoes.
Why are they genetically altered?
So they're genetically altered because they don't want them to breed. I did a little bit of background on this, and so the female larvae are going to die, but the male larva will grow up, and then they'll pass on the gene that kills all the female larvae because I think they want the males to mate with other mosquitoes, which in the long term would kill all the mosquitoes.
Fact checked.
I don't want to be a douchebag, but you got that totally wrong.
Oh, no.
Go on, enlighten me, Billy.
So they're releasing 75 genetically altered male mosquitoes.
Maybe if you hadn't killed your frog, then all these mosquitoes wouldn't be so terrified.
Dude, don't do that to Bertha.
You know what? Okay.
She lived a hard life of getting fed.
Okay, do you want to give...
I'm just saying, if there were a few more bullfrogs out there that didn't have gaping vaginas.
I actually do want to know.
Do you actually want to know how it works? Because it's actually it's actually kind of interesting.
Yes.
Death was a sweet
they're
release for
releasing
Bertha.
75...
million?
No, I don't know million. The exact numbers on the
750 million
out into the Florida Everglades of male genetically modified mosquitoes that will then mate with female mosquitoes, which then they're
half transformers.
How do they know that they're all males?
Because they engineered them.
They have little chips
because
in them?
they engineered them that
they
all
don't ask
the
for
female
directions?
Mosquitoes would die. So
then
all the
those
baby
mosquitoes have asterisks because they're like.
Yeah.
Right, no, so basically there's only it's going to be
that seems
a totally
It's just a
bad
dude fest.
ratio dude fest. And guess what? Mosquito dudes are chill because they don't bite.
Oh!
That's why they're doing it.
Interesting. So they
Only the female.
but they
They
just
should-
buzz. They
just-
still
they just
buzz in your
buzz.
ear, which is just as bad.
They should release them all on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Just out of spirit.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Saturdays,
Do it.
Or 4.
The mosquitoes.
Exactly.
Boys.
The male
mosquito
mosquitoes.
boys.
Mosquito boys.
Yeah.
Total sausage fest down the Everglades.
Okay, Billy, you want to do your Fyre Fest? You want me to do mine?
I mean, you can go first.
Oh, no, you go.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a trick?
No.
Okay.
All right, my
Billy
Fyre
trying
Fest.
to think of a Fyre Fest.
Yeah.
No, I have one. So I have a puppy that's growing into a dog.
What?
Yes. He's getting quite large. And I feed this puppy a lot, and I feed it. So basically, when I make meals, I
Gains.
sometimes make my puppy meals as well. And so, like steak, sometimes I give him like a lot of my steak. Anyway, he's taking
Just basically
huge
steak, yeah.
Shits.
shits everywhere.
On
And-
the inside?
Inside, so I take him outside.
Dude, you haven't trained him?
I've trained him, but I take him outside for like 2 hours. Like we're out there chilling, and then I take him inside. And immediately, as soon as I bring him inside, he just shits.
That means you have not trained
He
him.
thinks that inside is outside.
That's
so when you take him
100%
in,
not trained.
Also, it's a barn, so like inside and outside is kind of a nebulous concept for this dog.
But that's
Anyway.
not trained.
I know, but I don't know what to do.
You got to
You train
train
your
him.
dog.
So I do train him. So I take all the poop and I throw it outside.
No. You need to go outside, and when he poops outside, you give him a treat for pooping outside. And you don't give him a treat inside.
You make it a big deal when he uses the bathroom
right.
outside.
I used to when I first adopted Stella, she actually didn't poop inside, but we had to do the pee training. I got a big thing of roast beef, and every time she peed outside, she got some roast beef. Never got roast beef for any other reason.
It's all about positive reinforcement with your dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you had a Fyre Fest day, great job, Billy. Good job, Billy. Who's a good Billy?
Right.
Billy, do you want
So
a
find
treat?
one
I want a
stinky,
treat.
yeah, like a
Give me-
stinky treat that smells great, and it's like, oh my
Billy,
god,
have a beer. Have a beer,
Yeah.
Billy. Good
No.
boy. That's a
No,
good
that
Billy.
Shank's
boy.
rule.
yeah.
But the worst part is the flies. So now I have a huge fly problem because there was a window open and he pooped inside, and now I have a shit ton of flies in my house.
Again, problems that having a aggressive frog as a pet would solve neatly.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ! All right, that's
And
good
guess
Fyre
what?
Fest.
My frog's dead, so he can't eat the flies.
Right.
I feel like there's other animals probably in the barn that are also pooping inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
They're showing-
They're
the dog
showing
poop.
the dog. They're like, go ahead, we do it all the time.
Anyway.
Are
I
the
need an
chickens in?
exterminator.
Chickens are outside.
Chickens are outside.
All right, Billy. All right, my Fyre Fest is I stumbled accidentally on the perfect crime, and now I think I'm going to have to go through with it. So I had Dana and Marty Mush. Dana's been on the show. Marty Mush came over to my apartment the other day to take a piece of furniture away because they're moving and they don't have furniture. So I gave him a piece of my furniture. And it's a new building, so I haven't met all of my neighbors. So I'm outside with them. They're loading this big piece of furniture in an Escalade. I'm holding my son, and a guy walks in and he gives me a look like, are these guys robbing the place? Because it's Dana and Marty Mush. And then he looks at me holding a baby, and he's like, no, they wouldn't rob a place holding a baby.
They wouldn't rob a baby. Maybe you're stealing the baby too.
Well, I'm thinking, like, if we robbed a bank, but I went casually holding my baby, who would ever think, like, this guy's robbing a bank? Like, no, he's holding a baby.
Yeah, if you're wearing a Bjorn and inside that Bjorn you've got like an extended mag.
Find the flaw.
Yeah,
I think I need to get into a life of crime using my son as, like, pretty much everyone. Yeah, as a prop.
If you're-
as a fall guy,
I think
my son will be a fall guy.
If you're wearing scrubs too, that helps. No
Yep.
one ever thinks that a nurse or a doctor is robbing a place.
It was
They
like
also
it-
can't charge someone that young.
right, and the guy looked at me and he was like, "This guy," because Marty and Dana do look like they would be robbing someone, and they were like struggling to put it in the back of an Escalade, and it was like, "What's going on here?" And then he saw the baby. He's like, "Nah, he's a dad. He can't steal."
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
So
it's-
I have to
you know,
do that now.
Back in the day, how people would have kids and they'd make them work for them on the farm.
This is
Put
it.
your kid, just like take
Just
him
start
to
with
a
like
bank.
a convenience store and work your way up.
Should we try it tomorrow?
Family crime syndicate.
Yeah. Well, no. One of you walks in and just grabs something, and we're like, "No, we're just sitting here with a baby." Like, what? Who's gonna?
No one
stop
would ever
someone?
suspect that.
No one would.
Also, I mean, you could have your son just like hand the teller at the bank a note saying like we're robbing you.
him.
Then technically your son was
Right,
robbing.
right.
And your only crime was being a bad father.
Right. Well, or a good father if you want to spin zone it.
Yeah, that's true.
Adrenaline, getting him hooked on adrenaline at a young age.
It's important to have hobbies as well.
All right, that's our show.
Can't trace a kid's handwriting.
That's also true. Yeah, we've tried it with Hank.
Yeah.
All right, that's our show. We'll see everyone on Monday. Have a good weekend. More sports. What's the Chuck Borton?
Sports, and more sports.
No,
Sports at
sports.
7.
More sports. At
Chuck
7.
Bourne sports is more sports at 7. That's a
sports
pig
at 7.
snag.
$1,000 play Barcelona on Monday.
Yeah. Yes. Cornhole. And we got a big guest coming on Monday as well.
Huge.
So get excited.
Huge guest. Love you guys. Billy, your final thoughts?
On Monday, you're going to find out that I was offered a job at
Oh!
a very prestigious firm. You'll find out on Monday. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm wondering if I should take it. Tune in Monday.
Billy actually does want this job. When the person left, Billy was like, should I go up and ask him for a business card? I said, definitely, you should.
I'm joking. Love you guys. I'll never leave you.
I am snacking. Cheetos, Pringles, ramen, French fries, chicken, nuggets, ice cream, sandwich. What am I craving? I am snacking. Nuggets. I am snacking. What am I craving? I am snacking. What am I craving? I am snacking. Cheetos, Pringles, ramen, French fries, chicken, nuggets, ice cream, sandwich. What am I craving? I am snacking. Nuggets. I am snacking. What am I craving? I am snacking. What am I craving? I am snacking.
It's Pardon My Take, presented by Barstool Sports.